Welcome back to Pete's Classic Cycle. Here we are in Niagara Falls, close to my hometown, and I thought I'd take you on a bit of a trip and show you what it's like to buy a bike. I've shown you a lot of stuff restoring bikes and fixing them up and things like that, but never the actual deal going down. So this particular bike, I don't want to say what it is and the whole backstory yet, but it's a very special bike. I've been hunting it down for 7 years. The family has finally agreed to sell it to me. So let's jump in the car, let's head down the road, check it out, and hopefully we can close this deal.
7 years, man, that's a long time to track something down. Why this bike?
A few reasons. A, I love H2s. I'm obsessed with them. My dad had one growing up, and when our family sold it, it was just a missing piece of my heart that I had to fill, and it's become an unhealthy obsession. And then what else makes this one cool, which you will see, it's got a very special motor with very, very, very few miles on it. So it's almost like a time capsule from back in the day when these bikes ruled the road. So it's pretty incredible. Like I said, I don't want to give too much away now, not before we see the bike, but I think you guys will like it. So I believe we're just pulling up to the place now. So I have been here before and I have seen the bike in person a couple times. So don't be surprised if I'm not completely surprised. But here we are. Let's go buy a motorcycle. Yeah, it's always amazing, but you never know where these bikes are hidden, especially being a motorcycle. Unlike a car, they can literally be hidden anywhere. So it's pretty cool when you find a new one. Oh, back door is open already. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Robin.
Hey, what's going on?
Not too much. How's it going?
Pretty good, buddy. I didn't know you were here so early.
Yeah, you're fine with the camera still? That's cool.
Yeah. No worries with the camera. Yeah,
Awesome.
Content's important, Pete. I know you gotta make money back on this.
Well,
Viewers,
yeah, that was.
How many videos are you gonna get out of this bike?
Two. I've got two planned. To pick up and then getting it running.
I think I do like 4.
That's the number.
Halfway through, we're restoring, we're doing restoration vlogs and stuff. Yeah.
Awesome.
I was trying to see if it could move a little bit, but I don't want to move it too much.
Yeah. No worries.
Put the key in it.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, you got that.
I only have one. This is the only key that it comes with.
That's all right.
But it, it locks in. And
yeah. No, that's awesome.
So
beautiful.
I don't know what neutral is on this.
All the way down.
All the way down. But I don't think it's gonna roll. Do you want to try to maybe slide it out? We'll go through the garage door right there. Okay. I took the car out and everything, so if maybe slide it this way.
Okay.
Do you want to try to? I don't know if you want to try to see if it'll put it into neutral. You'll know neutral better than me. And it's on. Everything's unlocked now. The back tire seems to move a little bit. The front one is the one that doesn't want to move. Yeah.
Yeah. So we won't touch that front brake for the life of us.
All right. Yeah. Like the back one's moving. Like let's don't worry. I can pull 2. So let's move it over a little bit. Okay. And then let's go back. Yeah. There we go.
Perfect. Yeah, I was going to bring a ratchet set to take that front caliper off, but I totally forgot.
I think.
And all the excitement.
Do you think maybe we can? You want to just maybe? Yeah. Like
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm good. Now let's see if we can go back some more. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Let's do it for you because let's leave it here. We'll put the kickstand back on.
Yeah, perfect. So first thing we got to fix is the front brakes.
Yeah. I think it's just because I bet you even if the front brake is bad.
Yeah.
But
no, and usually I just unbolt them and knock them off the rotors. But wow.
What do you want to do? What are you going to put it? Are you going to try to put it back right to being like the Kawasaki stickers and everything on it? Is that the plan?
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I've got a spare set of bodywork that's ready to be painted.
Keep it or lose it. I know it didn't come with it. Lose it. I don't blame you.
I'm going to lose it.
No, I don't blame you. I'm just wondering.
If it was mounted properly, I would consider keeping it.
No.
Now, before I get too far ahead with this video, I really should explain some of the backstory of how this thing all came to happen, because it really is quite a series of hard work and random chance encounters that brought the bike here into my garage. So, like I mentioned earlier in this film, it all started 7 years ago when I got a tip from a local Kawasaki dealership that there was a gentleman in town with an H2 that he wanted to work on. They wouldn't give me any of the guy's personal information, but I did overhear one of the sales associates accidentally say the guy's last name. Well, coming from a small town and the H2s being what they are, I knew it wouldn't be too hard to track it down. So I hit the phone book, went online, narrowed it down to a few people, started knocking on doors, and that's where I met Rick, the owner of this beautiful H2. So I knocked on his door, Rick answers, and I asked him about the bike. Of course, he was a little taken back at first, wondering who I am, what I'm doing there, why I'm asking about this bike. He didn't admit to owning it. So through a bit of conversation and then him finding out that I lived not even 5 minutes down the road and he knew who my family was, he loosened up, and that's when he eventually said, yes, I have the bike and it's out back in the shed. Would you like to take a look? Well, of course I would. At this point, now I'm ecstatic. All this hard work paid off. I found the H2. So Rick takes me out back and brings me into a shed, and there it is sitting in all its glory, 20-something years worth of dust and grime and bird poop, just sitting there beautiful. Obviously it wasn't in the best of conditions. It's not an original Survivor, but I didn't care. Anytime you find a bike like that hidden in a shed or barn, in my mind, that's like the perfect dream scenario. Absolutely love it. So all good stories come from. You know, he told me the background of the bike, basically how he got it to race a friend of his, which is why he got Paul Gast to build the motor. He rode it one time to race his friend, scared the snot out of him, and he parked it. And that was it. And then, you know, through more conversation, mentioned he didn't want to sell the bike. So over the next couple of years, I came back a few more times. Each time, nope, don't want to sell it. Nope, don't want to sell it. And eventually, I kind of stopped coming back. Life moved on, moved out of town, and I lost contact with Rick. Well, fast forward to this year, I met a new local bike enthusiast named Brad. Start talking to him, start chatting about classic Kawasaki's and H2s, and that's when he mentions his cousin Rick. So what are the chances of that, right? So we start talking about Rick's motorcycle, and that's when Brad gave me the unfortunate news that Rick had actually passed away earlier this March, which is pretty hard to hear because, you know, coming from a small town, he was a pretty prominent member of the community. If you didn't know him personally, you certainly knew who he was. He was involved in different clubs, and he was a teacher and things like that. But anyways, kind of getting back to the bike here, Rick's family didn't really know what to do with it. His kids weren't into motorcycles. Brad had too many projects on the go to realistically take this thing on. So through conversations with Brad and his family, they kind of decided that if they were to sell it, that I would get the first opportunity to buy it. We were able to make a deal on the bike, which is where you find me here in this video at Rick's son Robin's house. And I have to say a huge thank you to Rick's family for allowing me to be the next custodian and getting this bike running once again. For me personally, I think it's a pretty cool story. A lot of these bikes have sentimental value to different people for different reasons. So hope that helps explain the background, kind of fill in the blanks with everything that's not in this video. Now back to Robin's house where I complete picking up this bike. This is so cool.
Is this one you were telling me about that has the
fastback gas motor?
Yeah, you can see the stickers and stuff
so
on it.
Come around here, Brendan.
It's on either side too. They're on the
or the family ties, you said.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, there's the fastback gas motor. We can get into that in a minute. But yeah, so this bike belonged to Robin's father, Rick.
Right.
And I know your dad told me the story about it a little bit, and Brad's told me his version of it.
He was into motor. We got back into motorcycles in the 80s because I was young and I wanted to have motorcycles. So he said, all right, I'll get you a motorcycle, but then he wanted to get one. So then he bought the Harley. We have a Harley Davidson in there.
Yep.
Because at that time Harleys were not in vogue as they kind of got to be, and now they're kind of out of vogue or whatever. So he got that, but then all of his friends bought motorcycles and Harleys too. So my dad was one that never wanted to be, he didn't like to be like anybody else. So we just saw, I was just looking at the ownership. This one here, we bought it in 91.
Okay.
And he registered it one time. The plates got renewed once. And
Wow.
He went and got it, and he rode it a few times, took it to Paul.
Yep.
And got it all fixed up. Rode it once with Brad, my cousin Brad, and then never rode it again.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah,
that was it. And it sat in our garage, our little side little garage we had from 1990. We think 1992.
Okay.
Or late 93, early 93.
Okay.
Until now.
Yeah, I remember your dad telling me racing against Brad, and he didn't say Brad at the time. He just said, "Oh, I tried to race my buddy, and it scared me, and I only rode it one
that was
time."
probably Brad. Yeah, that was him.
Yeah,
that was it.
But then it was funny, even then meeting Brad starts telling me the story, but now it's from like the other person's perspective. Like, you're the guy that convinced Rick to do all this stuff.
Yeah, they grew up together and stuff like that.
Yeah, the whole situation of meeting Brad and everything. It's
so
wild.
And you being from the Niagara area and from Niagara on the Lake originally.
Yeah.
So you know that these bikes, that it kicked around. And I know that when he bought it, I don't know how much he paid for it, but I know that they weren't desirable back then. Nobody wanted them because at that time, I think like everybody was getting into the new H2s, the new Ninjas, and the new pocket rockets and all that sort of stuff. I mean, he bought this in 1991, so at that time, everybody that was into the fast bikes wanted those ones, right?
These are way outdated already. I think standard these are around 72 horsepower, and then the 80s bikes were already pushing.
So nobody had a lot of interest in these ones, but he knew that it was a collector's item when he did buy it. He knew that this is a rare thing.
Well, that was some amazing foresight that he had to do that and keep it.
In it. And he just decided, well, I'll just keep it.
Yeah.
Because he said, you know, there's going to be less and less of them. So, and I'm sure there are. A full bike, you know, everything on it, not missing some pieces. Obviously, like, you said, like, this stuff is not original. He put this stuff on just because of the times. He wanted to be a little bit maybe in the style of the late 80s, early 90s back then.
Oh, for sure. Well, the one thing I loved about it, it's like a perfect time capsule. Like the paint and stuff is so like 80s, 90s. Yeah. But then even the motor and the whole Fast by Gas tune. Yeah. Like I think Brad said it's only got like 50 miles on the motor.
Less than. Since it's been rebuilt, less than.
Yeah. So like every Fast by Gas motor was put in a race bike and had the snot beat out of it.
Of course.
And destroyed. Where this is like This is minus the patina or whatever. This is like an off the shelf. All gas motor.
And the patina's almost kind of sort of in style almost now.
It is.
A little bit, you know. Cars mostly, but maybe, you know.
Yeah. So usually if a bike had a gas motor, I'd be like, oh, it's probably been beaten up and this and that. But this is like the perfect, if you were to get a gas motor, from Period, this is the one.
You know, with all sincerity, he wrote it once, very little, and that was it.
I'm so stoked.
And and I don't know. I mean, I don't know when he changed the pipes on it.
Well, the pipes would have been with the motor. Like these are Fast by Gas pipes.
Oh, are they? Okay, so when he got it tuned, then these pipes came on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's probably why. Then I'll have to confirm with Paul and some of the old brochures, but I know like depending on the tuning kit, they included different things.
Okay, sure.
I think your dad said this was a stage 3 kit, which I believe includes the pipes.
That I do not know.
And it's got like the performance throttle on it, like the quarter turn throttle.
Okay. So some things that he did to it. Yeah.
So basically with that, it's got like a bigger pulley, so it'll hit full throttle quicker.
Well, even the original ones without the tuning and stuff would do wheelies like crazy. So.
Oh yeah, so they had a reputation.
Yeah, that was its thing, right?
Yeah. So. Yeah. There's so many cool things on this bike. So much, like even this, the aluminum plate here. I was looking at this last time. I don't know if that's something your dad did or if that was a Paul Gast.
Probably Paul, because my dad.
Paul.
Yeah, I'm sure, or it came with it when he bought it. But it was pretty. I know it was pretty much stock when he bought it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the person that he did buy it from.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking like the plate makes sense with the velocity stacks because there's no oil filters, right?
Yeah,
so you don't want the dirt throwing up from the tire directly into the carbs.
Into the carbs, yeah.
So that makes sense. Here, you see that, Brandon? So it's got no air filters, just basically open directly into the large carbs. So that plate would stop all the dirt from the tire flying up into the motor, wrecking everything. So it's just like a little Period race piece that you don't see anymore. Nobody runs velocity stacks unless you're racing these things. Of course, so it's to see it on the street's wild. I only know one guy that's ridden velocity stacks on the street and he used his wife's pantyhose as like a
filter, like a filter over top of it, for the dust. Yeah, and then right over, like over here. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after the ride, we looked at all the pantyhose got sucked through the motor. For sure, it was all gone.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, this be a reminder to always bring your tools with you. All right.
Not so bad, actually. There we go.
Beautiful.
I'm happy that you're getting it, Pete, because my dad will want somebody that will take care of it and do something cool with it, as opposed to just, ripping it apart or just rotting or something.
Oh, yeah. And like
and it's going to somebody from Niagara. That's what he would like the most.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Like The whole story of getting this thing, Robin, it blows me away. Like tracking it down for all those years, talking to your dad. Nope, don't want to sell it. Don't want to sell it. And then randomly meeting Brad.
Yeah.
When you should have heard Brad's expression when I was talking to him on the phone for the first time. He's like, "Oh, you like triples? Yeah, I'm getting my cousin Rick's triple. It's a H2 from Niagara-on-the-Lake." And I interrupted him. I'm like, "Is that a red one with a fastback gas motor?" He's like, "How the hell do you know about that bike?" It was so funny.
Yeah. Small world, huh?
Oh yeah, and like, yeah, I guess your dad barely rode it, so nobody would know about it.
Thanks.
You know, unless they knew your dad. Well, she's in there. I haven't even looked under the seat yet.
Oh, yeah. Look
Not
under
that-
the seat.
You want to come see the
Who
reveal,
knows
Brendan?
if there's stuff in there? I haven't looked under it either. Oh, no, it's
Oh.
just the seat. Watch your hands. Yes.
Just some mouse turds and
Let me see. Is there anything? It's just are those real, the cellulose and stuff like
yeah,
that?
that's the original CDI box. So originally it would have had a toolkit up in there.
Sure, yeah.
So it's always a nice extra treasure when you find that.
Yeah.
The mice always have had it there.
Yeah. At least they didn't eat so much, so yeah,
No.
that's good.
Ah, not even the owner's manual.
Sorry.
Overpaid. Oh man, that's all right.
So they're not too worried. They don't really care so much about it.
Well, Robin.
All right, buddy.
I think that's it, man.
I'm glad that we could get this
Yeah.
done for you. And I'm glad that you got it, Peter. I'm so happy. If you
Yeah.
you need me for anything, I don't mind coming by.
No, absolutely. And yeah, I'll keep you updated. And as soon as it's running, you guys will be the first to know.
Awesome, man. I want to see you do a wheelie going down the street on it.
All right, well, we made it back home. I dropped Brandon off, so time to unload the bike. Before I take it out of the trailer, I'm gonna pull off that seized caliper. Hopefully this thing is still standing up on two wheels, and oh, there she is. My first Fast by Gast H2. Oh, unbelievable. Can't wait. 1974 Kawasaki H2B 750 Fast by Gast Widowmaker. Unbelievable. There we go. Just gonna leave that there to sit right now. Now I know I don't have to tell you guys, but with the front brake disconnected, please be careful of taking it down the ramp because I've got no way to stop it besides just myself, and I wouldn't be doing this if it was on a pickup truck with a steeper angle. This one here is pretty manageable. There we go. I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but this bike is now mine. It's unreal. Say what you want about the graphics, say what you want about the fairing. This is one bad H2. Fast by Gast. Apparently it was a stage 3 tune, which I think they said 153 horsepower. Again, maybe theoretical, but either way, this is one bad motor.